Welcome back. I'm here drawing another frame from the movie Heat from the bank robbery gunfight scene, and this is just following on from my last video, which was Tom Sizemore turning around and having a look at this security guard. And now we've just got a nice profile MCU mid close up of this security guard. It's quite a nice shot. His head's sort of silhouetted against the window and his body is the opposite. It's kind of light against the dark pillar behind it. So it's a very well composed graphic MCU. And yeah, it'll be a nice break after drawing lots of wide shots with people and computers everywhere and stuff. This one's very graphic. I'm going to jump straight into it and I'll do a rough first just to get placement kind of working. Placement and size. So I'm just blocking in the big shapes here, using this little crosshairs just to sort of get my bearings. I don't always draw roughs like this when storyboarding. If I was drawing this as a storyboard for a film that I was working on, I wouldn't draw a rough. I would just jump into the drawing. But because I'm working from a reference here, I kind of have to get placement right. Okay, hopefully it'll be a nice quick one today, just being a sort of a close-up. Just whacking in some backgroundy stuff here. And then we've got a nice building in the background there. Okay, that might be everything I need for the rough. I guess I'll just roughly block in his hair and ear position. Okay, that'll do for our rough. Get into the actual drawing now. I don't have to worry too much about likeness on this because it's just this security guard character. It's kind of a, you know, this is probably a stunt actor. It's not a feature character. All right, it's all working okay for now, I think. Maybe add a bit more roundness to the end of his nose. Okay, and I think I had his ear slightly in the wrong position. That's okay. That's the point of the roughs, is not to just trace the rough, it's to try get the placement right, but then correct it when I do the actual final line work. Yes, ear's actually more like kind of more like vertical actually. Alright. This is quite relaxing after those last couple of videos I did with the wide shots and all the extras and all that stuff going on. This is pretty chill. Just drawing a nice close-up. Well, medium close-up. Alright, try to let myself loosen up a little now. And I think he could actually afford to just be a little bigger in frame, so I'm just going to size this up slightly. Okay, just drop in this background pillar behind him, just a bit of architectural stuff. Nice and graphic, so it's very quick, easy to draw. Okay, ripping through this, and a bit further in the background we've got this building. Nice old looking building. It's lens blurred, so I'll probably blur it off when I finish this, but I just want to block in its rough shape. Got a bit of chimney stuff up here, chimney or something. Kind of just making marks right now, doing whatever feels right, looks all right. And there's a very faint other building here, but you generally don't want to have objects and shapes messing with your focal point too much in a storyboard. I can turn off my rough now, and I can turn off these crosshairs. Back to our feature guy. Let's just add some blacks, some darks to him to help him read better. Try to keep this loose and pretty quick and rough. Switch to a different brush here. All right. Bit of darkness on the upper lip. The upper lip is a downward facing plane, and often it's often therefore a bit more in shadow. Although here a lot of him is kind of silhouetted, so but I learned from the last frame that I don't want to go too nuts with blacks when a face, even if it is silhouetted, it just didn't, I didn't really like the effect that I got with that last time, and I sort of had to fix it at the end. So I'll save the silhouette for when I'm toning. Now I do need to, for our storytelling purposes, I need to make sure I put in his security. Does that say security officer? Yeah, security officer badge. Mine doesn't need to like say that super clearly, but certainly need to just hint at it. Whenever I draw these badges, they always end up looking like a sort of happy sun more than like a, you know, enforcement badge. I don't know why that is. My handwriting's terrible, so I'm not going to write this or anything. I'm just going to hint at the fact that there is writing there. Okay, some folds in the clothing. You know, I guess the idea here is this guy's meant to look like he's a little bit oblivious as to what's about to come. I don't know why he's looking down. If this was a modern film, you would assume he was looking at his phone. I'm not sure what he's actually looking at, since this was from, what, 95? This film came out, something like that. And yeah, so I'm not sure what he was looking at. So, I mean, he kind of deserved it. Okay, only thing I might do now is just block in some windows on this building. Nothing crazy. Just a hint. Some windows. I can probably do some of this directly when I tone the frame as well. But a little bit of line work just to give some structural support to the tone, I think, is a good idea. Okay. I think that's all working okay. If I wanted to really check it, I could just flip the canvas, have a look at his face and see if there's anything I want to adjust about it. Like I say, it doesn't really matter. This is not a feature character. It's most likely just a stunt security guard. Add a bit more blacks just under his ear here. Bit of occlusion shadow. And maybe just a couple of lines or something to his face, just to give some body and depth to his face. All right, I think that's enough. Do a bit of toning. Try to keep this under 20 minutes, but I make no promises about that. So we can vaguely go light to dark, right to left there. And then I can tone in this building a little. It can be quite faint. Something like that will do. Tone for this other building. To block in some of these windows, I can just grab a squarish brush and just kind of whack those in. And maybe just to give the building some interest, I could sort of like lighten up parts of it. I don't want to focus on this building too much, but at the same time, it's kind of this nice soft thing in the background. And this one is really soft. It's just got a few windows. Oops, keep just bending my lines a bit. All right, that's enough of that backgroundy stuff. I'm gonna group that. I'll just flatten it actually and blur it. That's our nice soft background building. And then we have our darker pillar over here. Slightly lighter little strip here. And slightly darker there. Okay, cool. Keep moving. Like I said, this guy is fairly silhouetted here, so I'm going to run with that. Basically colouring him in here. And just adding a bit more interest to the tone on him here. Not too much. Okay, I don't think he needs much more than that. Let's just whack in his uniform. Bit of tone for his uniform. A little bit darker. All right, that's his little badge. It's got some darker bits in here. I guess I'll just whack a bit of that in. All right, yeah, almost done. Going to slightly darken this pillar back here. Maybe whack in a bit of stipple sort of texture. Yep, I like that. Maybe even add a bit of stipple to his top. As always, I might fiddle with this a little bit before I sort of finalize the frame, but for the purpose of this video, we've basically done. I'll probably see things that I want to tweak. I might add a tiny bit of glow here just to sort of sell that light coming from the window. Okay. Put my little blue filter on, and yeah, I think that's about it. Looks like his nostril just needs a little tweak here. As I say, I might do a couple of little things to finish this off before I finalize the frame, but I think that about does it for this one. Nice and simple, straightforward profile MCU for this frame. I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.